Hello guys, what's up? Hope you're having a good day. Good evening. It's an evening here right now in beautiful chilly Colorado where it's about 41 degrees tonight. Not too bad. And I am finally returning with a bit of a excuse me, a stitch with me, which is where I cross stitch and talk, and you can do whatever you want to and listen, not listen, whatever you want to do. So I hope to be able to get back into these a little bit and get used to them. I really need a way to kind of get my stitching better flowing, I should say, better flowing or more motivated. It's hard to say which, because right now I'm like all about design and I'm not stitching nearly as much as I should be, because stitching is fun and I do love it, and I love to see my patterns come together. So I picked this one, at least for this stitch with me, because I had only just started it a couple of weeks ago. I did just a little bit of one bit of it, and it's the Mini-Panda. So Mini-Panda is 120 by 120, so it's 120 stitches across, or literally like 120 squares across and squares down. Has 14 colors in it with DMC fabric, DMC floss, excuse me. And on this one, I actually started way over here on the left. No particular reason. It was just the closest to the edge, and I wanted to make sure that I started my starting point at a point where I could sort of mark the boundary. I took this fine point mark be gone, which is one of my favorite little gridding tools, actually probably my most preferred gridding tool, just because it does have such a nice little fine blue point, and it marks really easily, and it washes out very easily with just water. And I've been using it for I've used it for several projects, and I've never had issues with it. I've tried other things. I would say the friction pens aren't as consistently easy to get out, and they're just kind of like, to me, they also don't leave a good enough mark. They don't leave a bold enough mark for me to be able to see things. And then there's a fabric, like a fabric pen, like a water soluble, or no, air soluble fabric pen that you can mark. But the funny thing is that if you stitch for longer than like 20 minutes, your mark kind of goes away all on its own. It just kind of dissolves, and you have to remark your spot. Which means every time you come back to it, you have to like regrid your areas, which is just no fun. It's no fun. Let me see if I can brighten my light up here a little bit. Got a couple different lights going. So, gotta get my glasses out, because I'm at that point where stitching with glasses, stitching with readers. So, put these babies on. Not terribly prepared to start, but I brought over a couple of different needle type things, and I'm just using like DMC size 26 right now for this, tapestry needles. I do that for a couple different reasons. One is that tapestry needles, I think, are wonderful because they've got the nice, rounded edges, and the other reason is they're just small enough. They're like perfect for this 18 count fabric. It's just like the holes are just perfect sized for this needle. So not too big that it might push the fabric a little bit more in ways you don't want to, and not too small that it's difficult to handle. So all right, let me show you my pattern keeper for this. Hold on, I gotta get it folded up right for this project. So if you guys don't know what Pattern Keeper is, it is basically a Android app that takes PDF files of cross-stitch patterns, translates them to these, these different squares, uses the symbols that are used in the pattern, and just basically creates like a digital version of your printed pattern. But the nice thing about it is you can click on, right now I've got 822 selected, but say I wanted to show you guys like, where the stitches for 535. You can see all the stitches are lit up. I'll show you as we go, like how we kind of, well, I can show you right now. So say, let me come up here to a spot where you can see a little better. Oh man, boy, that's a pretty impressive glare right there. put my hand right there for a second. So you can see where, you know, so after I would say do these stitches, I would take my little highlighter marker pen and I could just, you know, I could just do that, highlight it, and then click OK. And it would mark them out as if I've done them. And then you can also kind of roll through them and sort of frog them. It's got the little frog symbol, and they'll come back. But this is just such a great way to like keep track of your stitches that you've done, stitches left to do, colors. I mean, it organizes everything so much better. It's such a game changer when it comes to cross stitch. So I have talked about Pattern Keeper at length in other videos a while back, but I just want to do a little quick refresher type mention of it. So my nails are probably terrible. My job that I work in kind of like a almost like a food service, but my hands are wet all the time, and because they're wet all the time, my nails are kind of, you guys got any suggestions for the nails that they like shed inappropriately, like on the ends? I am super happy that my I had like a dermatitis that there it is. I had like a dermatitis that was really bad for a while there. It's a little, you can still see a little redness on that knuckle, but I had like a contact dermatitis with the gloves that we wear, and it was making my hands really just so irritated and dry and cracked and scaly. And I'm going to do a public service announcement right now for this. This stuff is the best. I just got this off of Amazon. I'm going to put a link down below because I tell you, I cannot. Oh, yay. The blues one. I cannot talk enough about how wonderful that this stuff is. I mean, honestly, I would just put it on at night. I'd get home, you know, take my shower, and then put this on at night. And I mean, it doesn't really leave, you know, much. It doesn't really leave a film. It soaks in really nice as long as you don't use like a huge amount. And it just soothes. It literally soothes and moisturizes in ways that, honestly, I just was using other things and it didn't work, but this stuff works fantastic. It really does. So, by Aveeno, the Calm and Restore. So, public service announcement complete. I think I cut my little, there we go. Finally, if you like my mini patterns, I do sell these on my store, stitchingjewelsdesign.com. Same name on Etsy as well. There is one store that is right now carrying my mini designs. A stitching shop here in Denver, Colorado, carries about, I think about half a dozen of my mini designs. Like this is the cowboy. This is what it kind of looks like, front and back. But there's a lot of info there. So if you just kind of happened upon me and you're like, oh wow, who's this floss tuber? Who's this cross stitcher? I've been around for quite a long time. Let me actually, before I get too involved with that question, let me find where I'm at, what I need to be stitching next here. Thread my needle and get started. Get started. Yeah. Cross stitch. Woo, cross stitch. What colors did I bring over? I'm a bit disorganized as usual. Doo-ba-doo-ba-doo. Doo-ba-doo-ba-doo-ba-doo. Doo-ba-doo-ba-doo. Sorry, I should have pre-threaded, but sometimes I just like to get started talking. And if I get started talking, then I know I'm going to be like, all right, let's roll. Let's get going with this. What colors do I even want to use? Let's just start with the simple 451. Chilling like a villain. Chilling like a villain. All right. So I'm gonna do very basic. I don't do fancy dancy cross stitch. I do very basic. My patterns are all like full cross stitches, and I can also do like a half cross stitch. Don't do the X, but just do the one side when I'm, say, stitching on 25 count. And I've done that on a handful of projects that I finished. I think it looks really good, but on these smaller ones, I thought, you know, I'm just going to do a full cross stitch because that's what everybody's used to. And so I just cut myself a nice little, like, I don't know, roughly 14 inches, 15, 16 inches of floss. Just gonna even up the ends for some reason when I made them uneven. Thread my needle here. Now I am using 2/1, which basically means 2 ply of floss. Where am I? Can you see that there's 2 ply of floss? Two strings there. And we're gonna just thread our needle, or not. I need to wash my hands. Not wash my hands, but wash my nails. My goodness, what have I been doing today? So there's that. And, all right. So, a piece of get away, 451. All right, so if you have never been exposed to, say, something like gridding, I need to turn my camera a little bit so you can see better. Oh, sorry. Ow. Sorry. If you have never done gridding and you are a person who likes to stitch on Aida and you've never tried it, I suggest you try it because I think it just makes everything a lot easier, quicker, less mistakes. So basically what I'm gridding is a 10 by 10 section, just so that I can better find the stitches within. So let me see here. I'm gonna start over here, and like I said, I'm just gonna do, there's 2 ways that I can start with my floss thing here. I can take my little tag that I've pulled there, fold it over, and then tag it. Or the other thing I can do, and sometimes this is kind of what I've been starting to do a little bit more often, is I just tuck it underneath another piece of floss once, and then twice to kind of better secure it. I'm not pulling tight on that sucker at all. I'm just smidgen snug. And then I'm just bottom left up, upper right down. Yeah, that's your half stitch or your tent stitch. And then for the full cross stitch, bottom right, gonna go up, top left, go down, down, up, down. There we go. So that's how I do it. Everybody might do it slightly different. You find whatever works best for you. You be happy. You do you. So another question that I used to get all the time is, how do you know how tight? Wow, there's a big old hair right there. That might be one of mine. I got my hair cut, so it's a lot shorter now. But how tight should you make your cross stitches? And my thing is that you want them to lay flat the way that this one has. You don't want them to pinch. You don't want it to pinch so much that the hole is visible once you put your thread in. Let me show you. Like if I were to take this one and make it too tight, can you? Okay, let me do it. Let me do a full cross stitch too tight to show you. So that looks good. That's too tight. It's like pinched. The holes are more open. We don't want that. And if we happen to do that, don't worry, it's okay. Just loosen it up a smidge and just let it go, then just tighten it back down. It's a feel thing, and it's one of those things that you'll, if you're new to cross stitch, you'll pick it up. It's just something that you need to just do over and over again, and then you'll get it. Too loose is like if you leave it so that it's not lying flat and it has like a little, maybe it's not like that, but I don't even know how well you can see that, but it's, if it doesn't lay flat, you want it to lay flat. There you go. Perfection. All right. I'm gonna go to this one. Doop, doop, doo. I do a lot of doobie doobie doos. All right. So I was discussing, I started discussing earlier of, if you have not found my channel before, welcome. I have been doing FlossTube videos for 7 years, I think, at this point. I have probably like 450, maybe 500 videos on the channel. Been doing a long time, and a weekly video for probably 98, 99% of every week. I've been doing that, and pretty proud of that. There's an interesting life story and a cross-stitch life story that kind of happened with all that, where I started as a crazy full coverage big project person, and then ultimately migrating into learning design and being taught design, and going off in this whole new tangential world of cross-stitch pattern design. And yeah, it's been quite the ride, let me tell you. Quite the ride. Ada gives this nice sound to it when you're stitching it, when it's fairly fresh. It doesn't quite make that sound when you kind of stitch on fabric for a while. It'll kind of soften and you won't hear that sound anymore. But when it's fresh, it's like it's like it's sawing. And I have changed in a lot of ways how I stitch. In the beginning I was in the very beginning it was a wooden hoop. I used the wooden hoop for everything, and then to hold my stuff. And then I went to plastic hoops, and then I went to Q-snaps, and I've done the roller frame, I've done the Nerge, and other lap stands, and just all different kinds of things. I never could really stitch by hand, just holding it in my hand and stitching. That's just not good for my hands. But I just couldn't do that. But I am doing these little mini patterns. A lot of times I'm just using the hoop and holding it in my hand. And if I have a project that I'm doing where I'm switching colors a fair bit, I usually do like to just stitch with a hoop. It's just a personal preference thing. Oh, caused myself a little loop there. I fixed. Happens to everyone. All right, so I think this is the last stitch in this little area. I'm using my my pattern keeper to show you guys. Here we go. So G is 451. I'm going to hit the little marker there, and I can hold it down, select all unfinished highlighted stitches in the square. Boom. I can also just kind of run my hand over it, which I like to do sometimes. Hit the check. Boom. So 14 stitches. Yes. So there's that. And that's it. No, I'm just kidding. That's not it for the video. We're going to keep stitching here a bit. Wish I had 168 with me. I thought I had 168. 168, where are you? Kind of need you, 168. Let me look here again for a second. I'm pretty disorganized right now. Like normal. Let's be honest. I'm a pretty disorganized stitcher in general. It's shocking that I can actually finish projects sometimes without having to go to the store and get fabric all the time. Alright, so I apparently do not have what I need. So, can I stitch something else right now that I do have the color for. Give me a second to look for that. Need more. Usually I'm a bit more prepared than this, or at least I used to be more prepared than this. Doo-ba-doo-ba-doo. I must have grabbed like all the stuff I didn't need. Okay, there's 822. Now 822 is a fair bit of stitching. It's a fair piece of stitching. Yeah, we can do this. It goes way up. It kind of outlines the little panda bear thing. Oh, what are you guys stitching on while you're watching? Let me know down in the comments. Tell me what you're stitching on. Oh man. So I got my my ankles wrapped right now. It's ankle and foot really right now. My job requires me to be on my feet anywhere from about 8 to 12 hours a day, which is fine. I think it's strengthening. I love to get more strength that way. But I had a flare of plantar fasciitis, which made me walk weird, walk unusual. And when it made me walk unusual, then it strained not just the area of the underneath by my heel, but then it ultimately strained the very top of my ankle, like a extensor tendonitis thing. And I think I did it because I was I think I was kind of like standing on the ground and I was kind of lifting my heel up too much. And so because I was sort of in that extended position too much, I think I just irritated that. And so it's kind of been uncomfortable. It's real, gets real tight when I don't do anything with it for a while. If I sit down or I'm driving in the car or whatever, and I get out and I can barely put weight on my foot for like the first like 30 seconds. I have to stretch my foot before I can do anything. I forgot to tie this one off. You're probably like, what are you gonna do with all that floss? So I'm just gonna tuck it back under a couple of ones, and boom, looking good. Looking good. Snap. Here we go. Bink. Bink, bink. But I'm a pretty informal stitcher. I'm not somebody who is... I'm not a... what's the word? Champion stitcher. I'm not a blue ribbon, like your stitches are so pretty. Your projects, you stitch your projects so well. I stitch my projects pretty well, but not perfect and not great. And just because I'm not a perfectionist in that way. But if I do say so myself, I think I have amazing patterns, and I think that they're fun to stitch because I am an avid stitcher and have been an avid stitcher for over 15 years. I know how to put together a good pattern and how to structure it in a way that, whew, I'm like, am I going to be able to thread this needle? Structure it in a way that I can like have a stitcher pick up my pattern, and if they've at least done a couple cross stitch, like it's, oh, this is very straightforward, I've done this before. So I'm going to do it again where I'm going to tuck this under here. And sometimes the reason why I do that is because holding that and going back and forth, I'm also, I mean, my body's falling apart right now. Maybe this is why I've not been stitching so much. And again, it's the work. It's the lot of work with the hands and the fingers and stuff. And they get a little tight. And so I don't want to, when I'm trying to like bend them and do stuff, it doesn't work like it used to. So anyway, so there's that. So it just makes it a little bit easier for me. And to be perfectly honest, you get that little tag on the back. If you are starting a fresh stitch, like out here somewhere, I have problems sometimes with, for whatever reason, my little tag will sometimes pop back through the hole, and I'll be able to see it on this side, and then I have to redo it. But if I plant that baby in with other stitches, it's not going to do that. So, okay. There we go. That sound. A beautiful sound. Tell you what, man, if you have like little hairs in your house for whatever reason, dogs, cats, whatever, your cross stitch will accumulate these little hairs all the time. Oh, did it again. There we go. There we go. Boop-a-doop-a-doo. And there is a fly in the house. It is almost it's mid-October, and somehow there's still a fly around here. That is ridiculous. They should all be gone by now. All be gone. What is that on the floss? There's like a dark piece of something. I wonder if that's if I got a marker on that at some point. I'm not going to worry about it. I'm not going to worry about it. It's like a little black piece. You won't be able to not see it now that you've seen it. My eyes can't unsee what my eyes was. I don't know, whatever. Yeah. Hee hee. Oh, but I got my foot elevated and I've had ice on it for probably a good 15. Well, I've had since we started, which honestly now we're pushing 30 minutes of icing my foot, my ankle, which is good. There's that black piece for whatever reason that's there. That's all right. I'm not worried about that. That'll just provide a little bit of texture. It's like a blended thread, an unintentional blended thread. No worries. So I have been having problems with just focusing on cross stitch, like just being able to stitch lately. I'm getting distracted. I'm not settled enough. Like I have to be calm and just kind of relaxed and sort of in a creative mood to want to stitch. But that's the same kind of mood that I'm in to design. So I almost feel like my time is better spent creating more designs than stitching, but you know, I've got to get back into, you know, stitching and sharing my stitching and things, because I mean that's really what it's all about. That's my laundry making noises. Doo-doo-doo. Boop-a-doop-a-doop-a-doo. There we go. But these little patterns, these mini ones, are so small that, I mean, they could be done in such a much, you know, quicker time span that, you know, it usually, I mean, when I'm doing one of my bigger projects, it takes like, it might take, you know, 3 to 6 months or more to finish a project. But these little ones can be done, I think, in as few as like a month maybe. It just depends on how much time that you put into it on a regular basis. Okay, I just did that wrong. Well, wrong from the standpoint of I set myself up bad for the next stitch. Hold on, let me highlight and mark these out so I can see what I'm going. And I can already tell you the other reason why I haven't been stitching is because already like my knuckles are kind of they're just stiffer because of all the working that I've done, especially this last month. You know, 60, 70-hour weeks, just working so hard, working hard for the money, so hard for the money. Yeah, we're gonna go down here and do this one. The other thing is I can almost feel like a sneeze coming on. It's thinking about showing up in like 2 minutes, I think, but I think I'm trying to get a little cold. It's been tickling around my head for half the day. Tickle, tickle, tickle. My only disappointment so far with designing has been that I've not been able to get more of my monochromes to actually like miniaturize as monochromes. It's just I have not been able to get that to work in a way that I'm happy with, that looks good. And yeah, and so I'm not gonna put out something that doesn't look good. And the fly is back, and I don't want to show murder on TV here on YouTube, but if that fly lands like around here, I'm going for him. Just, you know, I'm gonna move the scissors so I don't cut myself when I do it, but I'm gonna go for it. There we go. Nice. Nice. And if you're somebody that if stitching hurts your hands, like I said, right now, like my fingers are really stiff and I kind of need to pop my fingers a little bit. But if your hands are hurt and you like, especially when you do this, then just get a lap stand. Get something that you can attach your hoop to. It holds it in place, and basically you're sort of like, usually you're sitting on it or it's clamped to a table or something like that, and it will hold it in place so that you don't have to hold the hoop. And that's probably my gonna be my take-home message for myself for tonight is I probably don't need to do stitching with a hoop in my hand for these, because it's probably not that great for my hands. At least right now, it doesn't make them feel perfect. I should ice my hands, but I haven't actually done that. I probably should do that though. Oh, yet again, laundry's like, hello. Go. And nowadays when I get my thread, I don't get my thread the way I used to. Just run over to like Hobby Lobby or Michael's or Joann's or something like that to go get floss when I need it. And nowadays, there they are. Sorry. Nowadays I get it from like usually I just get it from like Everything Cross Stitch. Just it's just so easy to do it that way. It's an easy way to shop, and they always have the numbers that I need. And half the time around here, when I go to a Michael's or whatever, like they don't have, you know, they're missing 10 colors out of whatever 175 or whatever it is, and 10 of the 10 colors that are missing, like 3 are the ones that I need. And I'm like, why did I even come? Gosh darn it. Why? Oh well. And so I do need to get some more, because I have my mini samurai that I want to be working on, but I've kind of run out of this burnt orange that I need to finish. I need like a whole skein of what number is it? I can't remember. I need a whole skein of it though, and I'm gonna have to get one. But I need a few other things here and there too, so no worries. There we go. I do have a couple different patterns that I'm working on at the same time. I've got this one. I've got the samurai, the mini samurai one. I've got my vintage baseball one, and I've barely started the winter barn. That I love the pattern. I absolutely love it, and I'd love to get that stitched up. I barely started on that one, and then the Vietnam Veterans Memorial pattern, I also really need to get back to work on it. I haven't gotten terribly far on that one. That one's on the roller frame, so that would be a different look when I do a video with that one. But I've got this nice long row of stitching, and I'm not going to go past this blue line for this. I'm going to stay up here. I'm going to get too far ahead of myself. One reason is because I don't have a ton of floss left, and I don't want to leave myself literally hanging by a thread or two. For a second I thought I heard a railroad, not a railroad, a train. There's somebody in town that has a horn that sounds like a train horn. So when it goes off, it's like, there's a train? Nope, it's just that dude in his, in that car. Laundry's really mad at me now. It's like, alright, if you don't come, I'm gonna just burn these clothes. No, it won't burn them, it just cools them off. I should probably take this ice pack off my leg. It's been 40 minutes. But it's, I'm wearing a sock, and I'm using the less intense side to it. Oh, okay, there we go. That was good. That was good. I just gotta twirl my ankle around for a little bit to get a little bit of motion back into it. feeling like I'm gonna lose the end of my floss right through the right out of the needle, so I'm just kind of keeping an eye on that right now. I don't want to do that because once that starts, then it's all downhill. What am I doing? Not sure why that made that noise. I might have a little knot or something in here. Maybe not. Maybe not knot. Maybe not a knot. I'm going to try and eke out the last few stitches with this piece of floss here. There we go. There we go. I'm going to tuck this baby in here. But I'm going to see how the Stitch With Me's go. I'm glad I didn't try to start these up before September. I'm going to put my scissors right here. I just had them. There they are. Because I wouldn't have been able to continue it because of just how much I was working. So, I mean, I was literally just coming home and just going right to sleep. But I'm glad that I'm giving myself a little bit of a break to kind of get in here and do this, because I think this is quite therapeutic for myself as well. Let's see. So my next line is going to go right about there. Right about there. Now you don't have to draw all the way down through if you don't want to. I a lot of times will end up doing that just because my little brain says connect the dots, and that's what I do. But draw this line out. And these, again, these squares are 10 down, 10 across. And I like to draw my squares like right on the holes. I've seen some people draw the squares, like draw the lines on the square that's number 10, but I don't know why that bothers me so much. But it's just a different way of doing it. But I like putting it in the hole just because then I guess while I'm doing it, like I know for sure, like if I'm going in that hole, that's the right spot. I don't know. Everybody has, there are like a 5 gajillion different ways to do it. Believe it or not, you wouldn't think that, but there is. So at least it seems like it. And everybody tell you, well, my way's the best. Well, I'm not going to tell you my way's the best. It's just the way that I like to do stuff. And did I drop my floss on the floor? How did I drop my floss on the floor? Oh, probably when I was taking off my ankle wrap. Oh, man. And so it begins. Oh, hello, laundry. I don't even know if you guys can hear that. It's like a buzzing noise. I thought 3 buzzes and you're out. That sounded like a particularly defeated buzz on that time. The time sounded like, I know you're not going to come get me, but I just got a buzz because it's my job. Yeah, so I definitely would like to do more Stitch With Me's. I don't know if I'll have a schedule per se. Me and schedules don't really work out very well, especially when it's a time commitment like a Stitch With Me, which for me, minimum time for a Stitch With Me would be 45 minutes. That's what I want to do. I don't want to do 20-minute, 30-minute ones because it's just, you're just getting started, and there you go. So boy, I'm I'm gonna have to end. I'm gonna end up having to get a one of those needle threaders. You know, the things that thread the eye of your needle for you. Because even with my, glasses and everything, like I'm starting to notice I'm having a harder time with it. So I show you guys. So I'm just gonna go underneath. I know I'm totally cheating. I mean, I'm not cheating per se. I'm just, you know, I'm being, I don't know. I'm helping my hands out. Let's just say I'm helping my hands out. Tips for people with hand problems. Try it this way. All right. Rock and roll. All right, the next one's going up here. I may try the next video, try it a little bit more zoomed in and see if the quality is there. Okay, now I'm going to really throw you guys off because I did vertical stitching there. I did like a vertical half stitch down and then I came back up and finished it, and I'm going to do a horizontal. And it's just, I'm only doing it that way because of how the stitches are kind of situated here. I'm going to do some weird stuff, guys. It's so weird. Cross-stitching weird. It would be neat though if I let's see, what month is it? Oh, it's never going to happen. I have to have, if I was going to submit, like say Winter Barn to like say Woodlawn or something for the stitching, the embroidery competition, the stitching competition, I'd need to get that sucker done. Someday I definitely want to submit one of my monochromes. It's a fairly prestigious national embroidery slash stitching slash whatever, you know, show, and I wouldn't necessarily be saying, look how beautiful my stitching is. It would be, there's actually classes for designers, so it's, you know, it's best original pattern, best transcribed pattern, or best modified pattern, or adapted pattern from a photo or something like that. And I think the monochromes would do quite well. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4. Ah, perfection. Perfection. I'm sitting here thinking about how loud my stitching is right now. I can actually feel my forearms are like a little tired, a little sore. And that's not the stitching, that's just everything else I'm doing. I need to work on them with some massage tools and stuff just to kind of get them feeling better. Oh, there's that fly. I still got my eye on you, fly. And for those who are wondering, yes, I still have that very large Old World map pattern. And yes, we will be doing some Stitch With Me's on that Old World map pattern. I got put down for a while because of just no time. But I was really looking good for a top row end of 2023. Like I figured I could get the top row done, but of course life, and I lost a couple of months there at least. So I'm like, oh man. But if I can just get into a routine and get back into just making progress on these pieces, pick a different one each time I sit down, or shoot, just work on one and just get it done, then that would be good. Be so good. So good. Well, it's Saturday night, and tomorrow is... Oh, that's full cross stitch. Tomorrow is Sunday, and tomorrow is football in our house. And, well, it's football for me. My husband doesn't really watch football, unless, like, I don't know, I have it on right next to him. He'll sometimes just peek over at it. He's more of a hockey fan, and we've been watching some hockey this last past week, but I'll be watching some football in the morning for most of the day, I think. And but I'll also be working on pattern designs. I got some new designs I'm working on, and what else am I doing? Business type stuff, business type things that don't necessarily want to share my business ideas. And yeah, it's a dog eat dog world out there in the business world. But do. Ah, poof. Okay, there's that one and there's that one. So let me highlight these. All right, 88 stitches. Let's see if we can't get 100 stitches before we stop. We're gonna stop here shortly, but we're gonna try and get that next 12 stitches or so done at least. I used to have quite the problem with my an older phone with getting it to record past a certain point, but thankfully that is not an issue with this phone. It doesn't seem to be. It doesn't want to shut off automatically. Oh, did you see that fly? Oh, daredevil. I will say, though, that I'm pleased with the progress. Talking to you guys again, it has focused my brain, allowed me to make a little bit of visible progress with this pattern, which makes me very happy. And I think what I will do is I will just title it, you know, Stitch With Me Mini-Panda, and not give it a number or anything. And if I do another video stitching this particular project, I will come back, number this number 1, that one number 2. So just to kind of keep it in order and make a playlist for it so it's easier to keep up with. But I'm glad I can't, you know, I'm glad I just did this tonight, and hopefully this will kick off some other videos that I have ideas about that I've been wanting to get back to and do, and for quite a while. I think that's 12. I wasn't counting. Were you counting? I wasn't counting. Oh, perfectly 100. All right. Well, I reckon I'll probably... No, you know what? Let's finish out with the thing of... I just got a little bit of floss left. Let's just finish this out. And put a few more stitches in here. Seems kind of silly to end when I still have more stitching on this thing to do. Stitches here. There we go. I'll try and see if I can get my stitching a little closer for the next Stitch With Me. I'll look at it and see what it looks like on my computer monitor after I upload it and everything, and see if that looks like it's a reasonable distance or not. I'd like for you guys to be able to kind of see what I'm doing. It just helps. I know it helps in some cases, like if you're just not sure, you're just like, man, I wish I knew exactly, you know, how to do it. So, ta-da! And so we are, like, right, we're doing that right there, that top part. So, can you see it? Can you see it? So, all right, guys, I can't believe it. It was a full hour of Stitch With Me. I didn't even really tell any stories, really. I just talked more about stitching. So it's all good. Next time. But y'all, take care. I hope you enjoyed this. I hope you got a lot of stitching done on your own. Like I said, I do have playlists of me stitching a lot of other cross-stitch projects in the past that span over several years. So you can look at those on my playlists on my channel. If you like the Mini-Panda idea, it's on my, like I said, stitchingjewelsdesign.com, also on my Etsy store as well. So everything we talked about will also be down in the description. And yeah, you guys take care. Have a great day. I'll see you soon.